Good morning, everyone. I'm just going to wait for you guys to tune in. I'm tuning in late today. Mondays are usually very, 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 very hectic for me. So it's a miracle that I'm able to get on here. Good morning, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Happy Monday. Um, this is your first time tuning in, welcome. Let me know where you are tuning in from. And if it's your first time, my name is Chidolue. I'm an immigration attorney in Atlanta, Georgia, but I represent clients in all 50 states in the United States with their U.S. immigration, family-based immigration cases, removal cases, humanitarian-based cases like VAWA, T visas, U visas, consular processing, fiancé visas, and all of that good stuff. Good morning, Lil Mac, Ayana, good morning. Garden Ford, good morning. Happy Monday. Top of the morning to you as well. Jazar, Shamika, good morning. Samuel says, how are you today? Thank you so much for asking. I'm actually very, very exhausted. I had to make two out-of-state trips this weekend, and there's only 2 days in the weekend, so I am running on E right now. It's been an exhausting weekend, but my wedding anniversary was on Friday. Even though we spent it on the flight going to get my kids and coming back, but otherwise it was a very hectic weekend. So let's see. Someone's asking if they can send me a DM. Please don't send me a DM. Call the office. I honestly will tell you that I do not read DMs because when I come on live here, I come on live and then I'm out of here because I am busy. And most of you who use social media know that Instagram or any of these other social media platforms are like an abyss where if you start, before you know it, you're scrolling through for 2 hours, 3 hours. I just don't have that much time to give to it, because if not, I won't get any work done. And just because of the sheer volume of messages I receive. So if you want to ensure I am the one who is reading or responding to you, you are better off scheduling a consultation. And I don't think I mentioned our consultation number. It's 678-325-1037 or 678-233-2170. You can also send us WhatsApp to 404-333-8751. Or you can also comment yes. If you comment yes, a team member of mine can DM you to find out what you need assistance with. Okay. Someone is asking, what does C31 mean? C31 usually is a work permit category that you typically get if you have a VAWA case that has been approved, meaning the I-360 itself has been approved. So when that's approved, you get a C31. If you have a C09, that's usually a work permit from the 485 application you filed. So that doesn't mean that the underlying petition has been approved. That just means that the work permit has been approved. Unlike in a VAWA case, a C31 means that the actual VAWA case has been approved. Okay. Let's see what else. What do I have here? How long should I wait for an I-485 decision before sending an inquiry? You want to wait based on the timeline that USCIS has listed for your case type. Usually USCIS case processing time is where you search. You put in the date and it will tell you the earliest time that you can do an inquiry. So depending on that, that's when you know. Okay, so let me see if I can answer some questions for you guys. Let's see what other questions I have here. Good morning, Joseph from California. Gardner says, happy Monday, Miss Stacy. I'm actually not Stacy, I'm Ayesha, but I will tell Stacy you said hi. I have been married for 2 years, but I haven't been able to see my wife due to her disability. I've been busy with work trying to get money for us. will it be hard for my wife to process a green card for me due to us not seeing for long? I'm sorry, I can't answer that question, but that's not good. I don't understand what kind of disability that she has that would not allow you to see her for 2 years, or whether if she cannot move, why you can go to where she is. You're going to have a hard time. But again, I don't know your case. You need to schedule a consultation, but that's very dicey. That's very, very dicey for you. I don't know why the lawnmowers always come on here when I'm on live. So it's so loud, like right in front of my window. I don't know if you guys can hear that. How long does it take to get an EAD after biometrics on VAWA? We don't calculate EADs based on biometrics. We calculate EADs based on when you submitted it. I do try my best, and I do tell my staff when they post the EADs to highlight timelines, because you guys ask about it all the time. So if you go on my post, go on my Friday post, you look for the ones, the EADs there from VAWA cases, and look at what the timelines are. Most people right now, we're seeing anywhere from 10 to 12 months. That's just what we're seeing, 10 to 12 months. If you get it earlier, you're just really lucky, or like you had an expedite that was approved based on, one of the urgent humanitarian reasons or financial hardship that you could show. Financial hardships tend to work best with people employed legally. So it would depend on that, but honestly, 10 to 12 months, tend to be the average. But you can also check my posts to see, kind of what the trend is on there, and also USCIS case processing time. Gardner says, happy anniversary. I celebrated my first one on 6/30. Congratulations. We celebrated our 16th year. Well, our 16th year, like white wedding, meaning, I wore a white wedding gown, but otherwise it's really our 17th year of marriage this year. So we are very grateful for that, because I will tell you guys that being in the immigration world, where a lot of your clients that you deal with are married folks, it is very scary to hear a lot of the stories of marriage. And it is very scary to see people who have they are the cutest couple. They have a loving marriage. We file these cases. We're excited for them. They get their 2-year green card, and the next thing we get a call, they're getting a divorce. Or we're filing their case, and in the middle of their case processing with USCIS, they call and say, we're having marital problems. So it's really heartbreaking to see that. So, I celebrate, every year gratefully to be in a position where, me and my husband have continued to push on, to push ahead. Because it's not easy. Okay. Why is there a delay for work permit? Anna, your guess is as good as mine. If you find out the answer, let me know. I don't know. A lot of this, I really, on a more serious note, I think that a lot of this had to do with when USCIS basically decided to pause people's, did like a blanket pause of everything when they claimed that they were doing new fingerprinting and stuff like that. So it's caused a lot of delays. Again, I want to repeat and remind those of you who have your cases filed from those countries where, there was the initial pause. They have now filed their appeal. I'm still hopeful that the appeal will be, I think we're going to find out this week. If not today, actually. I'm not sure this week whether the appeal court is going to agree to it or not, because, they have the 25-day window. Most of the courts have basically said no, they cannot have that blanket pause without explaining and giving a definitive date when they're going to remove it. So I'm hopeful for that. But again, I posted a bunch of people last week, Friday, or at least I know that my team did while I was flying, over like 20 different results of people from different countries, including those that had previous pauses, that got their work permits or their travel permits. Again, as a reminder that if you fall under that category, you should, and you have past processing time, this is a good time to do an inquiry to try and get that decision, before or if it changes, because again, immigration is moving very fast. Laws change so quickly. Today you're eligible for one thing, tomorrow you're not. So, instead of dilly-dallying, waiting for perfection, because in actuality, there is no perfection in anything in life for that matter. If you are eligible for something, or you've consulted with an attorney and they tell you you're eligible for something, find a way to submit your application and, ensure that you are on track to get whatever it is before the deadline. Okay? Liz says, December 2026 will make 5 years since I've received my permanent residence. When is the earliest I can start to apply for citizenship? Typically, if you're doing it based on a 5-year requirement, the earliest time you will be considered would be 4 years and 9 months before before you submit the application. But understand, and I say this all the time, with citizenship, this is not the only requirement to submit. So you're not just submitting an application based on timeline. You got to remember that in addition to the timeline, that there are things that you're going to be looking at. This is also another re-review of all immigration applications you've ever submitted and looking for any deficiencies in that, whether that's however the process in which you got your green card, the process in which you got your B1, B2, or tourist visa, however you came in. They're looking at your criminal records. They're looking at your travel history. They're looking at have you ever falsely claimed to be a U.S. citizen? They're looking at your taxes. They're looking at child support if you don't have custody of your children living in your house full time and they're minors. Are you taking care of them? This applies to you whether you're a woman or a man. I'm speaking to you women, especially women, because women think that, okay, you know what, as mostly men they're concerned about, they will deny your case. If you are female and your child doesn't live with you and they live with the grandparent and you don't have evidence of how you're supporting that child financially, I'm telling you guys now, what else are they looking for? So as long as you have all of those things, then you're good to go. So those are all the things that one will be considering to make a decision, because again, citizenship is the final step. So they have to be really, really sure that, this person has met every burden that they need to. Okay. 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 I filed my VAWA under CO9 category in 2024. What do you mean you filed your VAWA under CO9? You mean you filed for a work permit on the basis of VAWA? Is that what you're trying to say? In 2024, I got 3 prima facie so far, but no EAD or travel document. Just silence. Should I be worried? Did increase, but no response. Mohammed, I don't know your case. I don't know if you submitted the correct 485. So without knowing that, I wouldn't be able to give you accurate information. I'll need to know that to know why you may not have received your work permit. Okay. Where's your location? My location is in Atlanta, Georgia. Garden Ford says, okay, I'm just saying hi to Miss Stacy too. Okay, I will definitely let her. Garden Ford, I hope I remember that. I will let her know you're shouting her out. She'll be happy to hear from you. Okay, let's see. How long after filing is a prima facie sent? A prima facie determination letter is not guaranteed. A prima facie determination letter is a letter that you get if your case has met the preliminary requirements for submission of a VAWA petition. So if you don't get it, it means that your case has not met the requirements. But if you do get it because your case has met the preliminary requirements, most people are going to get that anywhere from like 3 to 6 months after they receive their receipt notices. And one of the things that I would encourage you to do if you have not received it and that timeline that I just mentioned has passed is to reach out to USCIS to determine what might be deficient in your application, if there is, so that they can issue an RFE so that you can be given a chance to correct or add additional evidence to support it. Okay. I married my friend for tax purposes, but now she wants to file for her visa. What should I do? I feel like she's going to lie. Well, you both are lying, you know? Like if you basically you're telling me that you filed a sham, you have a sham marriage. So as long as she's not submitting her visa based on this marriage, if this is not a legitimate marriage, if she submits that visa application based on being in a good faith marriage, it's a sham marriage, and the penalties are very high. So you might want to talk with your spouse about that and possibly get divorced, because for tax purposes, that's a crime in the United States. So both of you are liable for that. All right, guys, I got to jump off. Sorry I joined late today, but I can't spend too much time here today. But I will try my best to be on live tomorrow. I don't know what my schedule looks like yet. But if I'm live tomorrow, it'll be at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Again, schedule a consultation if you want specifics for your specific case. 678-325-1037 or 678-233-2170. Also comment yes, and someone can reach out to you to find out more about your case. It's always the best way to get a confidential consultation and actually get the real story behind your case to be able to advise. I can't tell you how many people I've had on live, they write one thing and really there's a lot more going on in the story. So it's better to get your full story out so that we as attorneys can give you proper advice. Okay. All right, guys, have a good day. Bye.